Alright, I'm gonna flat out say this. I'm getting really upset about OBS, which I keep updating among other things, and my internet, which is right now the best I can afford. This is why I'm not kidding when I say, hey, check out the description. There should be a link to my Patreon. Obviously, I don't want you to, bankrupt yourself donating to me. That's wrong. But at the end of the day, I absolutely love it. For you to do that. And I'm going to be introducing some ways to determine content for my channel if you subscribe and donate and all that jazz. Because I do want my viewers and all y'all involved. Tonight we're doing this because OBS is not behaving. None of my software is behaving. And as you can see, going through here, we're trying to gerrymander this in favor of the Democrats. But here's the thing. As it stands, we've got 4 seats that in a really good year for the Republicans would be Republican seats. Now, obviously, these 2 seats can't flip for the Democrats, but these 2 seats could flip for the Republicans. So just keep that in mind. And I'm trying to make this somewhat realistic for what the Democrats might actually try to do. Now, as we're going through here, I'm going to switch this to map colors. That way I can actually see what is what, because I know all of these are going to be Democratic seats as we're going forward. But you're going to have to get really creative if certain trends keep going. Because a lot of these areas are very heavily African American. And if those trends are real and keep going, where Republicans are improving with that demographic, we could be talking about some very interesting headaches for the Democrats. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay. And here's the thing, we're almost halfway done, and we've still got a lot of New York City left to cover. And that should basically tell you everything you need to know about how populated this area is. And yeah, so when I finish this series of redistricting, I'm going to try and return to kind of the historical gaming content, because I really did enjoy doing that. I may resume the political process stream and then finish it off at some point, maybe in the 80s or something like that. Or I might continue it on into this era. But I think there's a lot of stuff that political process needs to improve before really doing a historical series like that, because it doesn't factor in, say, wars or anything like that. There's no real foreign policy mechanic that is even remotely close to being ready. Um, And it just, it doesn't seem like it's capable of understanding that, say, certain left-wing ideas might not actually work. You know, I'm not saying that right-wing ideas are perfect when it comes to economic ideals, right? I'm not saying that they're perfect or that they're flawless or that they work all the time, but it just assumes that left-wing economic policy works all the time, every time. And I think that's a very bad idea because it's not going to help anyone understand economics or politics at all. It's also not going to help people understand, well, why do people believe what they believe? You also don't have to deal with, say, the Supreme Court periodically overruling certain laws that you pass. You don't have to deal with a lot of stuff that real life absolutely happens. So I think there's a lot of work the political process needs to do before I'm really willing to pick it up in a long-term series again. And this isn't to say that the game is bad. It isn't. It's great. It really is good. It just, there's still a lot of stuff that I think needs to happen first. A few other things that I'm interested in doing at some point is certainly getting into specific race predictions for 2022. I'm probably going to actually put out a full-on House prediction. But the reason why I can't do that right now is we don't have what the districts look like. And we're not going to know that until I think next year or maybe late this year. But it's going to be a while before I have that. I really would like to do that. As for other things, I'm going to start leaving it up to y'all, but only for people on Patreon. And right now, that's just one person. And to that person, I thank you. Thank you, Will. But as soon as y'all start, contributing, hey, guess what? I'm going to start letting y'all vote on content, certain types of things. I'm going to keep all my regular series, but, things like extra videos on Saturdays or Thursdays or whatever, I absolutely will. And some of the other content on the channel will absolutely get done at that point as well. Because it is a good idea. Because sometimes, hey, I want a video and I can't think of a topic off the top of my head to do at the start of the day or at the end of the day. Because guess what? Having a job really takes a lot of energy out of you sometimes. Maybe you're reacting to certain historical or political content that exists elsewhere on YouTube, giving my opinion on that sort of thing, but that's a long ways in advance here, right? I'm going to try and speed this up just a touch. And I'm going to clean this up along Manhattan Island. Good. I think the rest of Manhattan Island, yeah, fits within a district, though it does. That looks ugly, but oh well. We're gonna fix that up. Though this is definitely one of the uglier districts that's gonna get drawn in this series, but it could be significantly worse. And I really am sorry about, my internet not cooperating. That's the other thing contributions on Patreon are going to contribute to, is better equipment, so that way my streams actually stay alive. If you would really like that, hey, seriously. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about subscriber count and all that. I've kind of been flatlining right now at 780. Seriously, share the channel. If you are new, likes, comments, and subscriptions, they really do help, and I greatly appreciate each and every one of y'all who does that. If I reach 1,000 subscribers, then you'll have access to Super Chat in streams, and that'll actually let me know that y'all are commenting, and if you really want my attention, hey, guess what? That's a really easy way to get it. God, we're still significantly over. I'm actually going to turn off the partisan lean, turn on the county lines right now. Because I do still like drawing by county line. Even if, God, that could be prettier, but I'm going to leave it. Even if it isn't a perfect system. Oh. And even if my goal is to get this in favor of the Democratic Party, I definitely think it's still a good idea to follow some of these natural boundaries. And the only reason why I'm drawing these like this without the partisan data right now is because this is all extremely heavily Democratic territory. So I'm not really losing opportunity here. And that's the thing. Some people say, well, why don't you connect NYC to upstate? Well, I could do that, but the Democrats aren't going to do that because even New York State Supreme Court is going to say, come on now, that's a bit much, don't you think? So I'm going to keep myself to that rule of I can't make it so overtly partisan that it would get thrown out without even a question. That is almost almost a district in and of itself, right? Okay. I typically use this little bit as almost kind of a natural dividing line, because it kind of does feel right to do it like this. Because that is a really useful little demarcation line right here. Is it perfect? No, obviously not, but it's close to actually giving us what we want. And I applaud New York for not having a preponderance of water precincts. Because those can get pretty irritating. Okay, that's reasonable. So I'm going to do one last district here. Now I'm going to go up and go to Buffalo and Rochester, which kind of have to be in their own separate districts for a lot of reasons. Now, as we can see, actually, you know what I can do? Switch it to precinct and then hit erase. And then just kind of start slowly going through here. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because, well, both of these cities have their own congressional districts, so it kind of does make sense that they should be kept like that. Now, I'm not entirely sure the Democrats would get rid of that just for political gain. There we go. That I thought that Rochester had more people, but I guess it doesn't. Make it a little bit larger, I guess. That is where I want it to be. And we only have 7 districts left. Yeah, 7 districts left. Alright. So we're going to put here. Alright. And then slowly eliminate it. And this is the easy thing that you can do with New York. is actually I'm going to put it back to partisan lane. Yeah. I should probably redo the 19th. This should fix it. There we are. I'm going to put it over here and go to, this is Albany, so instead we're going to do that. We're going to switch it to precinct. Then we're going to slowly just do some of this. Okay, that's within our threshold. Okay, I think our next district I should do this. May need to go a little bit over on some of these. But the point is, at this stage, just making sure I'm within the threshold that I want to be within. And at this point, we're not going to get any more Democratic districts other than the upstate one. And I don't really think it's a good idea to go beyond that and try and really force one. And I think I even stated this, it is entirely possible to draw a completely Democratic map, but you have to factor in that the courts are going to say something. And the Democrats aren't going to unseat their own incumbents for the sake of political gain. Might try it with one or two, but okay, that actually I think is the correct amount. Okay. So we're gonna go here. I might be able to squeeze a Dem district here. At the very least, it's going to be a competitive district. Perfect. Okay, so let's turn off the county lines, the precinct lines, turn on the labels, switch it to draw by precinct. And so we've got 25 districts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Republican districts. What does that work out to? I think 19 Democratic districts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah. 19 Democratic districts. You could certainly do better, but there's only so much the Democrats are going to be able to do with the map without making it very obvious. And here's the thing. You've got opportunity for the Republicans to have 1, 2, 3 pickups, so they could get, what is that, 9 seats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9 seats. And honestly, the 21st, the 20th, those are certainly possible flips in the future. I could even argue the 18th and 17th could get much more competitive. And I'd even argue some of these inner city districts, depending on how certain demographic shifts continue, they could actually get more Republican. But those aren't flippable in the near future unless things dramatically change. But that's not an unreasonable map for New York. And again, I'm sorry the live stream had to be put on hold for this. But hey, that's the way life happens, or as I sometimes say, c'est la vie. So anyway, take it easy, y'all. I hope you have a very nice evening, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.